want it? When do we want it? Our band-aids are under attack. What do we do? Our sisters are under attack. What do we do? Our mothers are under attack. What do we do? Our communities
Hello everyone, my name is Sonia Hernandez. My brother Martin Angel Hernandez was murdered by Officer Dan Hurtado from the Anaheim Police Department.
My brother Javier Arzola Jr. was murdered on October 1st, 2012 by a police officer.
He was murdered 4 years ago by Mark Alvarez of the San Bernardino Police Department.
Tony was murdered by Lakewood Sheriff.
When a police took his life.
Manuel Diaz, my son, had just been 25 for 8 days before he was murdered by Nick Benelik, a cop.
He was 19 years old. He was only 22 years old.
2 weeks before he graduates.
Supposed to be getting married 2 weeks from now.
He was 23 years old. He was shot 23 times. 1 bullet for every year of his life.
My son was shot twice in the chest.
They shot 48 rounds at our son.
Twice to the head, once to the heart.
2 officers shot Stephen 10 times.
They shot him 4 times in the upper torso.
And he shot him in the back.
He was shot in the back of the head.
He was shot 7 times in the back.
The first shot was a lethal shot to the back of the head.
Went and chased my brother down, shot him from the back.
He felt the need to taser him 4 times after being handcuffed.
They double teamed him, came from 2 different directions, and shot him 10 times in the back. Made him lay in the ground for over 28 minutes to bleed out and die.
Anaheim felt it their need to execute him and shoot him in the head so close that it left flash burns on his face.
The handcuffs were so tight that they ripped his wrist.
He turned around with his hands up, and the officer shot him in his heart. He was trying to fix a tire when this man came out of his house in his boxers and his t-shirt with his gun drawn, never identified himself as a police officer.
He then dragged them to the street, to the back of the van, and left them there.
Abre la puerta.
Opens the door
Y le dispara.
and shoots him.
I know it's hard for most Americans who don't live in neighborhoods like mine to believe that gang unit officers would execute a young man in cold blood and then plant a gun on him.
My son was not in a gang even though they said he was.
They claimed that he had a knife. He didn't have anything. He didn't have a knife. He didn't have a gun. He didn't have any type of weapon.
They said that he lunged himself to the cop. Then they changed it that he had a gun.
And you know what that police officer said? Well, sometimes people confuse stripes with plaids.
They said he was on parole. He's never even been to jail.
Then he had his cell phone in his hands. They said he had a gun.
The witnesses testified that my son never had a gun. There was a witness that saw him executed. They discredited her. They said she was biased.
Manuel was running for someone he never even seen before.
He's killed 4 people, and he's a sergeant now.
I still don't have a DA report. It's been 3.5 years.
And still today, I do not know who that officer is.
Badge or no badge, murder is murder.
No one should have the right to kill another human being.
They think because they got a badge that they could go and take an innocent person's life and that's their license to kill. You don't have a right to take no one's life. You killed my baby officer Master and your ass is going to jail.
A police officer stoned my son, the father of my grandchildren. Manuel was a loving son, my only son. I'll never have a grandchild from him.
I'll never get to see what he was going to grow to be.
My brother was a good father. I think it's bullshit to think that such a good person could get shot in the head with an AR-15.
I know all you guys know how it feels just to know your son is not here no more.
When I see the pain in these families that have just recently lost somebody, I relive it all over again. There's brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, uncles, aunts. There's everybody out here. I'm here because he deserves justice. My kids deserve justice.
We're not going to stand idly and watch you murder us.
We made a promise to my brother that as long as we live, we're gonna fight
because we know there's no justice. Look around. It's just us.
I'm usually quiet about a lot of things, but I'm not quiet about this.
You guys, y'all give me so much strength.
And I never ever thought that people felt the same pain that I feel.
If it wasn't for all these people, I don't know what she would be right now.
I really want to say that everybody being here in solidarity for each and every loved one here, all the faces that we're seeing.
They don't want to see you come together. They don't want you to unite. They want to lie to you, steal your kids away, and tell you that it's justified. But guess what? We say different.
This is the way that I stand up and fight for my family.
We contacted people here in Southern California. The Southern California people contacted the people in Northern California, Central California, and look what we've got, and we're going to get bigger.
We have to support our communities. This is the work that has to be done. And it's going to take, you see, the village for any of this to change.
I'm overwhelmed. There's so many families. We shouldn't have to be here.
Those of us that have been fighting this for so long know that this is a heck of a fight.
I come to tell you today that we've come too far to turn around now.
And I just hope that we continue to fight. We can't stop. We have to continue to fight.
We've been standing strong with other families about our son, about your son, sons to come.
I've already lost my son. There's nothing I can do to get him back. But I can come out here, stand up, and fight back to make sure somebody else doesn't lose theirs.
We ain't gonna let down and we ain't gonna back down. We're gonna fight for justice and fight for what we deserve.
I will never give up the fight for my son.
I sit here and I see the cops looking out the window and they're just looking like, ha-ha. Well, you know what? Yeah, it's going to be ha-ha. We'll see who gets the last laugh, okay? Fuck you.
I just have one question. How much longer is this going to go on?
What do we want? Justice! What do we want it? What do we want? Justice! What do we want it? What do we want? Justice! What do we want it? What do we want? Justice! What do we want it? What do we want? Justice! What do we want it? What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? 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 Our band are under attack. What do we do? Our sisters